Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the RoBuilder YouTube channel. Today we have an amazing plugin made by a pretty amazing plugin maker. Anyways, we used to have part to terrain. Now, part to terrain is actually awesome because you can make parts, aka maybe I want this and I want to have a hill over here, something like this. And then you can use part to terrain. And let's say we want this to be grass and we want this to be rocks. Very easy to sort of block out how you want your terrain, but also very limited. We just got a plugin released called Mesh Terrain. Now, guys, this is actually kind of insane. So right here, we have two meshes, all right? We have a couch, or a little like chair and a couch, okay? And they're made in Blender, of course, and it's just two parts. But with this plugin, you can change, let's say this couch into this terrain, which might not look too insane, but I'm going to show you a pretty cool example here in a minute of what all we can do. And there's also, if you don't want to go to terrain, you can go to triangles. Literally, this mesh and this mesh, whoops, let's group that. These look exactly the same almost, okay? Other than shading on the little pillow here. Look at this. This one's two meshes. This one is all triangles, aka made in Studio, but looks pretty much like it was made in Blender. We're gonna put this plugin to the test right now. I'm gonna go make, I don't know, 2 meshes, 3 meshes, some crazy stuff, and really see what this plugin can do. It's called Mesh to Terrain, and you can pick if you want terrain or wedges. I definitely think this will open up the doors for some really cool stuff, and if you do want it, it's the first link in the description. So first things first, I think we would be amiss if we did not add in the monkey. Just as sort of a Blender staple, I feel like it's super important to have this guy to see if the terrain thing can actually work with it. We're gonna test triangle terrain and normal terrain just to see what happens. Up next, what should we do? I just imported one of the motorcycle models for the dream game because this will be an actual test if this plugin is, or I guess how smart this plugin is. This is a pretty complex model right here, and I think it would be very, very cool to turn it into terrain. I will go ahead and make it a little bit easier and join all of this together, just so it'll just have one object to work with instead of like 100. So there we go. And then I want to do one more thing. Let's move both of these to the side and let's do a plane, and we're gonna make just some like hilly terrain. Let's scale this up, subdivide it, I don't know, 20 times, just like that. We will scale this up as well, and then we're gonna use our proportional editing and just raise up some parts. As you can see, it's pretty hilly. So we have 3 vastly different objects, and we're gonna see how all of these look with the triangle generation as well as the terrain generation. I'm pretty excited about the motorcycle. All right, guys, I just thought of something. Yeah, the motorcycle is gonna have more than 10,000 triangles since we grouped it all together. So stay tuned. I'm gonna get that all optimized, and we are still gonna try it. But for now, we could test these 2. We have our hill and our monkey. We're gonna duplicate these just 2 times so we could try the triangle generation as well as the terrain generation. We're also going to make the monkey heads quite a bit bigger because Roblox terrain works in a 2 studs basis, which basically if it's a tiny object, terrain is not going to do too well with it. But let's check this out. So first things first, a plugin. Let's go to terrain, and we're going to make this rock. Generate, let's see, error seek output. Oh no. All right, guys, so you do need to have your HTTP request. If you go to game settings in Studio and then go to security, allow HTTP requests. You just flip that on, click save, and then the plugin will work perfectly. If it's not working, that's why. So check this out. Let's go ahead and make this a terrain, and we're gonna do a rock generate. Now look at this. It went from a mesh to terrain, guys. Look at this. I could just delete this one, but that's actually crazy. If you wanted to build a really cool, really detailed map with all terrain, like the first thing that comes to mind is some sort of skull coming out of a mountain or Mount Rushmore. Like literally anything, you could do it pretty easily. Let's go ahead and try the wedges as well. Mesh to wedges, let's go. And just like that, guys, it's a full mesh, or like a full, okay, we're gonna lay him on his head like this. One mesh, and then right here, it's all wedges or Roblox parts, guys. You'd be able to color any of this stuff. I don't know if this one would be overly useful. It seems like it just generates, you know, way too many parts. If you can already mesh in the first place, you'll probably want this. But I do want to try this. It could be interesting if you did a super low poly, like plane like this. It might be a little bit better, but let's go ahead. Mesh to terrain. We'll make it grass. Boom. There we go, guys. As you can see, we have a little bit of a hill. And then if we make it all into the wedges, it's going to look just like this. Look at this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Now, as you can see, it's all triangles instead of squares or quads. Pretty cool. I do want to try like a pretty high poly object. So let me get the motorcycle in here and really see what happens. All right, guys. So I imported it using the 3D importer, and you know, there's a couple issues, but that's okay. It's not really a big deal since what we're doing with it. I want to try to make this terrain. Holy cow. We definitely need to reset its pivot. There we go. And guys, we're about to see how this looks as terrain. I am making it very big because there's a lot of little details. I think it's going to be important for it to be massive. So let's go ahead and I guess there's only one thing to do. Plugins, mesh to terrain, and terrain. I'm going to make this, let's go with glacier. I think that would be pretty cool. Let's generate error. Okay, we broke it. This might be too complex, but I am going to try. All right, guys, there could be multiple reasons that this isn't working. Number one, this topology. I mean, it's quite literally decimated into oblivion, so it might not know how to read it. Like, it's genuinely very, very messed up. Up next, I don't know if there's like a limit on the plugin. For example, the amount of triangles it has, because I didn't optimize this at all. I just used the Roblox importer, import 3D, and it ended up like this versus how it looked in Blender. So it could just be like a really bad mesh to work with. Anyways, I think this plugin is definitely going to help a lot of people speed up their workflows, especially if you're not too great with smooth terrain on Roblox like myself, but I'm okay in Blender. So I can now make whatever I want in Blender, then just make a terrain and call it a day. Anyways, I think that is going to wrap up today's video. If you did enjoy and you want to see more content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.